You're listening to the Purdy Girl Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Kelly Purdy. My mission is to connect military spouses, fiancés, girlfriends, and booty calls worldwide. So let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to the Purdy Girl Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Kelly Purdy. Today I am feeling pretty good and rested and alive, which is always nice. I've had a lot of help this last week with the baby. So we are sleeping, we are playing, we are having a good time. It's such a game changer when you get sleep though. I'm so glad we invested in this snoo. I am not sponsored. I just want any new mom out there wondering like, what should we do for the baby? Is this snoo worth it? I'm just going to tell you, I think it's pretty worth it. That's just 2 cents from Ashley Kelly. Before I jump into this podcast, I thought it would be fun to share just a few like random things I've been into lately in case you want to switch things up for yourself or try something new this week. I'm going to just touch on like a good book that I like, podcast, exercise, and food. Okay. So the book I have been into this week is Breaking Up with Sugar by Molly Carmel. I just finished listening to this book and I really enjoyed it. When it comes to books like this, I usually just take what I like and leave what I don't, as always. It was interesting listening to her story and the stories of others breaking up with sugar and also flour, just like their journey all around that. Do I think that's something I'm going to do? No, not really. And that's kind of why I like these sort of books, is it helps me get more clarity on my own diet and mentality around food. For me, I find more strength in having things as an option and being able to choose what I eat and how much I eat. I felt the same way with alcohol. When I totally cut it from my life for a year and a half, which I'm really glad I did because, again, clarity, I realize that it's empowering to know that I can drink if I want to, or I don't have to drink. I know that a drink or sugar or flour, it's always an option, and I can always just choose to say no. Do you ever cut things from your diet and then it's all you can think about? And then you decide to have a little bit and then you totally lose control and you binge? That's the cycle I feel like I've kind of broken out of. And the trick for me is really to not cut anything out because it just always backfires. I like to allow whatever I want and drink or eat whatever I want in a slow and controlled manner. I know that doesn't always work for everyone, and I know some people really need to just cut things out altogether, but I feel personally way more empowered to just know that it's an option. So if you're interested in books like that, give it a listen. Let me know what you think. The book is Breaking Up with Sugar by Molly Carmel. The podcast I've been listening to this week is Joe Rogan's podcast. I love his conversations, especially with other comedians, and I love when they talk about current events and politics. They just have a way of bringing a little lightheartedness to such a toxic topic, and I really like it. The exercise I've been into this week is running. Well, all this month it's been running. I'm trying to get faster while increasing my speed. So I started at 1 mile for time. And then the next week I did 1.25 miles. And this week I'm doing 1.5 miles for time. So feel free to run with me. It's been fun chatting with people on the old gram about this little challenge. Eventually I will start a training program for a full marathon. I'm going to do it with my sister in the spring. Yeah, that's right, Michelle. I know you're listening and we are running this biatch. So let's go. Fun fact, I have run one full marathon before and it was 10 years ago. It was the same one I'm going to be doing in the spring, the Ogden Marathon. I ran it with my sister Michelle. So we're going to do it again. But here is what will be different this time. I'm not a vegetarian anymore. Yes, I was vegetarian for like 5 years and I was a vegetarian at the time of running it. So I wonder if having some good old lean meat in my diet will help my running. And then also I weight train now, and I feel like my legs and my glutes are way stronger. So I feel like that's got to help, right? I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be fun though. Crazy hard, but fun. So if you want to, virtually train with me, feel free. The more the merrier. So, the food I have been into lately, I will say, is MCT oil in my black coffee in the mornings. A lot of people on the keto diet do this. I'm not on the keto diet. I actually don't really care for the keto diet, if I'm being honest. But I know a lot of people do this on that diet because it's a healthy fat in your coffee first thing in the morning. I just bought this MCT oil from Walmart, and I do about a half a tablespoon in my coffee and drink it before I eat anything for the day. It's 130 calories and 14 grams of fat. So, that's kind of a lot. So, just take that information in. I like it though. I like it before my run in the morning, and it really gets the digestive system going too, if you catch my drift. Well, let's jump into today's podcast, shall we? I want to talk about getting back on a budget because if I'm being honest, I just need some motivation right now, and I think we all do. But before I get into that, I just wanted to remind you, I do have a code for Tubby Todd just for you. This code will get you 10% off some of the best products for bath time for your baby. The code is for you, Ashley Kelly Purdy, FORYOU, Ashley Kelly Purdy. So enjoy. If you have a friend that's pregnant, it's seriously the best gift. That's how I got introduced to this product. So, for you, Ashley Kelly Purdy, FORYOU, Ashley Kelly Purdy. Okay, let's talk about getting back on a budget because, like I said, I think we could all use a little motivation to get back on track. I feel like I go through phases of like being really intense and on top of everything and tracking, and then I'll have a few weeks of like, F it, whatever. Buy all the things. I can't be the only one that does this though, right? It's kind of like a diet. And let me try to explain. I just feel like there are so many parallels between diets and budgeting, like healthy eating, fitness, along with money and budgeting. I don't know. I just see a lot of parallels. I feel like the mentality is the same with overindulging and overspending. In order to win with money, we need a little bit of focus, a little bit of discipline. In order to win with our health, we need a little focus and a little discipline. So, getting back to budgeting and finding that focus again, I try to do two things. First, I have to commit, and usually I'll have a conversation with my husband since, that's where I'm at right now with my money journey. He and I are a team, so we have to talk to our team members to recommit. For you, if you're on your money journey solo, maybe that recommitment is telling a friend, telling a family member, just letting someone know that's close to you. Know that you are recommitting to your budget and wanting to focus on your money goals, whether that's getting out of debt or saving up for a down payment on a house, whatever your goal is. Okay, so recommitment. And then the second thing is I have to get back to my why. Why the heck am I even budgeting? Like, why am I doing this? What is your why? It's really hard to have big goals without a why. It's easy to get distracted and get off track without a why. I don't know about you, but I have to remind myself over and over and over of the bigger picture, or I'm just going to be going to Target and blowing my money all the time. So I just think I want to be open and real with you guys about where we are with our money and with our journey and our goals, just to keep it real for you, but also, as I tell you guys where we are, just keep in mind that we're all in different phases, right? Last year, I was getting out of debt, so my mentality was a bit different. 5 years ago, I wasn't married, so things were a little bit different. So we're all in different phases of life, and that just means we all have different goals. So for us, for me and my husband, being out of debt and living in an apartment with a new baby, our goal is to save up for a down payment on a house. A big dream of ours is to have a paid for house. Like, how freaking awesome would that be? That's a huge asset and a major leg up in life if we were to fully own our home. So that being said, everything extra that we make right now, we are piling up for that house. That means everything extra that we buy within the month, that's money not going towards our house. It's so easy to spend extra, and I just need a wake up call right now, especially before the holidays, But right now I just feel like Amazon purchases have been happening, dinners have been happening, shopping's been happening, which is all fine, right? Like, there's no use in beating myself up about it. There's no use in feeling guilty. It's not going to change anything. The only thing that matters is recommitting and moving forward. So what I'll do is I'll sit down with my husband, like I said, and we just recommit. We go over our money, what we want to spend for the month, what can we cut back on, what are our variable purchases. Usually those things are like, what we spend on food and date night and just random Amazon purchases that we can just chill out on. And we can usually end up saving almost double when we do that than we normally would save. And we just put that money, keep piling it on. And like I said, it's just refocusing on that bigger picture, right? It's remembering how much sacrificing a little bit right now for the future is totally worth it. Having that paid for house will totally be worth it. So what is your why? How are you going to recommit? Or maybe you don't even need to recommit. Maybe you're totally crushing it and you need to teach me some of your secrets. Like, start your podcast. I will listen, because I need to get remotivated and just pretty much all the time. Either way, I hope you feel empowered with your money, and I hope you feel like you're winning. It's the worst when you feel just overwhelmed and out of control with your money. The good thing is you can always check back in with yourself, get out your budget binder like I do, sit down, do your budget, and get back in control. There's always something you can do. So get after it today, you guys. I hope you're having the best week. We have one last day with our grandmas here that are visiting, so we're going to go party. And by party, I mean tummy time and diaper changes and walks, because that's my life now. Thanks again for listening, and thank you so much for the reviews and the shares. It really means so much, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Purdy Girl Podcast. If you have a second, please rate and review and share this podcast with somebody you think would love it. See you next week.